How do you transition? Well, to the NFL, because the NFL's coming for you. It's coming for every other sport.
Like a stalker.
Like a stalker.
Like a bad stalker.
Oh, what are you doing on Christmas? Nah, you're watching us. You're not watching the NBA. That's what the NFL does. The schedule release coming on Wednesday, May the 15th. So who plays the Chiefs in week 1? They're opening up Thursday Night Football. Is it the Niners? That would be a Super Bowl rematch. Ravens coming to town to Kansas City. AFC Championship rematch. And you put this in the lineup, and I like this idea. Bengals at Chiefs
That's
would be
the one
fun.
I want.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the one I want. Burrow back, healthy.
Yeah.
They've, played each other in the playoffs prior to last year, obviously. That's the one that I want. I hope the NFL does that because they'd have to send Kansas City to San Francisco. They're not going to do that. Super Bowl champion usually always gets to play at home. Ravens, Chiefs, don't you save that for later?
That's what I would
Don't
think.
you save that for a Monday night game or a Sunday? Isn't that a Sunday night? I don't think they'd save it all the way to Christmas. But maybe.
Could be.
But to me, Bengals, Chiefs. That's my 1A. That's what I want to
I'm
open
with
it
you.
up.
And I want to see the Bengals be good again. I want Joe Burrow. We were talking about Braxton for the Twins.
Yep.
Being injured all the time. And I wouldn't necessarily put Joey B in that category, but I certainly don't want him to have a similar career like Byron Buxton does, where you have those flashes like, oh my God, for those handful of games that you're playing, you're so good, but you're never playing. I'm hoping this is an anomaly for Joe Burrow and he stays healthy. He's throwing again, getting ready for OTAs, going to be healthy after injuring his wrist last season.
Joe Burrow's never beaten the Browns. They're historically the worst franchise in NFL history. I mean, my goddamn hero can't beat the Browns, Mom.
Still one of the best.
Bravo, Double D.
Still one of the best.
Mom,
he can't beat the Browns.
I want to see Joey B back. So he's healthy now. I would love to see Bengals Chiefs. Eagles Packers, next day, we know this. That's on a Friday from Brazil. The NFL.
They're
man.
just taking every day.
God, come on, guys. What are you doing? On a Friday?
They're playing every day except for Tuesday this season. They have a game at least once on every day of the week other than Tuesday this year.
Is that right? I guess that's true.
Christmas is Wednesday.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
they play all the time on Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. They're going to have the Saturday games in December like they already do, and now they have a Friday game week 1, which they're saying it's because it's the overseas thing. No. I guarantee you this becomes a thing.
Oh, yes.
That Thursday, Friday, then they'll figure out a way to throw it in on Saturday. College football be damned. Who cares? And you're going to have an opening weekend where they'll play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. They'll play 5 straight days to open the season. That's what's coming.
You know what I hate? I hate that you're right. It's not personal. I'm just like,
I
was like, damn it, Bill. You're correct. You know they're doing it.
They're absolutely that's what they're going to do.
God.
Absolutely that's coming. Well, they'll play 5 straight days to open the season, and then they'll just be like, oh, Christmas is a Tuesday this year. How about that? We can play 4 straight days. It'd be awesome.
No, you're right.
It's on a Wednesday this year, and they're like, we got a doubleheader. And the thing is, they'll make those teams play Saturday. They'll play the Saturday game, so they can have enough time to then play on Wednesday.
Cleveland is just completely outclassed here, and they'll give you the perimeter, which is like the worst thing you could do for the Celtics because they'll keep firing away and they'll knock down those shots, and they're so talented that even if they don't, they have so many different guys that can beat you from the outside, whether it's Tatum, whether it's Derek White, even Jaylen Brown can hit from outside. So if one guy's off, it doesn't matter because the rest of the guys can pick him up. Even Jason Tatum wasn't amazing in game 1. That's kind of the scary thing. So the Celtics were dominant, and yet their best player was pretty good.
Right.
So just imagine if Jason Tatum goes off, and as you mentioned, they're without Porzingis. And I'm going to keep saying this, but I feel like the Cavs are just worn down. When the Celtics, they took care of the Heat, and they handled the Heat easily outside of Game 2 in Boston. They handled it. They're sitting back. They're relaxing. And the Cavaliers are just grinding things out against Orlando because the Magic's length gave them so many problems. And as we've seen throughout the playoffs, the Cavaliers, if you're going to bet on them at all, you got to bet on them when they're playing at home because
Yeah.
they're a different outfit on the road.
Yeah, and I really think that Orlando series, in a way, took a lot out of Cleveland because Orlando pushed them. Obviously, we know into a Game 7, and Orlando had them beat in Game 7. It took Cleveland to come back in that game to win. I just think at times you wonder if Cleveland kind of took that deep breath and went, okay, we survived round 1, we got through it, and then you looked up and went, oh, now we got to play the Celtics, and they just don't have the energy, the push, because it was, like you said, it was 7 games. It was a grind.
Yeah.
They probably, of the 4 games they won in that series, they probably should have lost 2 of them and came back and won late. And so that's how they get to advance to take on the Celtics. I'm with you. I just don't think they have, A, the talent gap is pretty big. B, I think they are worn down. Honestly, as a fan, I wish Orlando had won that series because I would love to see Orlando with all the young legs that they have going against Boston. That would be a lot of fun. Boston still beat them.
Yeah.
But it would be a lot more fun than watching Cleveland just get ground to dust and losing 120-95 like they did the other night. I mean, I think that's what we're going to see tonight. I think you're going to see that kind of same thing where it's just going to be like 6 to 8 points every quarter. And then you look up and you're like, oh my gosh, we're down 18 going to the fourth. Doesn't feel like we're down 18, but they beat you by 6, then they beat you by 6, then they beat you by 6. You look up and the game's over. It's crazy.
That's a really good point because you don't see, at least thus far, you don't see those wild fluctuations.
Right.
And we've seen less of them anyway because the totals have come down, which I love to see. Like I'm not necessarily advocating for 90s basketball, but I do like to see that now we're seeing both sides of the court become a big deal.
Yes.
You know, it's not just these track meets. Like the All-Star game was, to me, embarrassing, which is why the NBA is like, okay. And we didn't necessarily see that in the regular season. But the point stands, which is, look, both sides matter. And I love the fact, go back to the Timberwolves for a second, we're saying, hey, the defense that these guys play is a real factor in this series. So the Celtics aren't necessarily that good defensively, but you're right. We don't see the wild swings. It's just, all right, we got you by 4 here. Got you by 10 here. And then you look up and you're like, wow, we just ground you down until you had nothing left.
Yeah, they'll win a quarter, 32-24. They'll win the next quarter, 26-20. And you feel like, oh, we didn't play that bad. We're down 14. What happened? Like, you just go, what happened here? How are we down 14 when we've played pretty well? Well, it's just like, and you'll appreciate this, the old CBA days.
Oh,
when you got a point every time you won the quarter. Do you remember that rule that they had in the CBA?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you got 4 points for winning the game, but you got a single point in the standings. You're trying to do like some soccer thing, I guess.
That's right.
And you would get a single point for winning the quarter. It was to keep games competitive to the end. It didn't work. That's why the CBA is not around anymore.
Right.
But it's kind of like that where you go, all right, well, we were in these quarters. Yeah, but you're still losing them by 5, 6 points every time. That adds up to you getting beat pretty significantly. And they just, again, they'll win a quarter here or there. They may even win a game against the Celtics. They're not going to take the series from them.